Hi, everybody. Let's test this and make sure everything is working. Okay, let's see. I don't see it on. Let me reload it. There it goes. Okay. All right. So, hi, everybody. Starting a new week. New week. 1,444 days since Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. And we still don't have his remains because Richard is the Vanessa Guillen first absent soldier. Richard is a code red. Richard's murder has been covered up. This is not speculation. This is from 4 years, we're almost on 4 years, of evidence. Hard evidence, circumstantial evidence, and irregularities. We have been made the investigation team, the investigators, by the CID, by the command. They told us when we got there in El Paso that we had to bring the leads. That made us the investigators because they told us they could not do anything. They could not do anything unless we brought them leads. Now, just think about this because I just posted up the monies, right? The monies. Um, and let me see if I have it in my notes because I think it's so important with the article that, in 2020, they were given, make sure that I have it. I think it's so important. Here it is. 1.35 billion for the CID. That was a 10% increase from the year before. Okay? That means they're not doing their job. If they have to increase it, they're not doing their job. Why? Because their job is to deter crime, right? To secure the most valuable assets in the military, which is our volunteer sons and daughters. Why is it very hard to recruit right now? Very hard to recruit. It's because they know they're not being taken care of, that they're not being secured, that their lives are not even secured on our own military installation. And so for the DOD to request even more money for the CID, for the failure of CID, because of so many sexual assaults. And I told you the sex cults are, it's like, it's so terrible what we have heard. It's unbelievable. And who did they even put in charge of Sharp? They put Major General Clem Coward in charge of Sharp, y'all. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. So they gave them 1.35 billion to the CID, a 10% increase, and that's when we didn't have inflation, right? We didn't have very high inflation at all. And that would fund 2,200 military, police, and civilian investigators, which is very interesting with that because of the investigators that are involved in this case and the criminal group the criminal group that are part of the original response team in Richard's case, that are up to no good. It's amazing. I'm putting uh, putting that down as a note so we can go through it. But let's calculate $1.35 billion for CID divided by the 2,200 military, police, and civilian investigators, and, that it would fund. That would be 600 and let's round it, $613,000 per investigator. Wow. They do not have a lack of funding, a lack of resources. This is like highway robbery. Okay? I really, can we ask for our money back? Can we? And in our case, it is absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. And to see Major General Donna Martin, who got a 3rd star out of this, who said, "Oh, it's because of this and that." She absolutely admitted to her failure of leadership, that they made mistakes with all that money. It's just such huge fraud. And that fraud is not about, stealing a cookie out of a cookie jar. You're talking about the fraud feeding criminal networks within our military that are up to no good, that end up sexually assaulting, sexual harassment, 12, 14-year-olds being pimped out in the barracks, and soldiers like Richard, like so many others, being murdered because they're a whistleblower and they've got their little gravy train going on in the military, and they don't want that interrupted, and they're willing to kill for it. And this rogue criminal group that were part of the initial, the original investigative, the response team, they are the prime suspects in the murder of Richard. They're dirty, y'all. They are absolutely dirty. And, when you think about it, it's so hard to even comprehend that could happen. But it has. It has. And we know, we have evidence too, even from Leilani Hart, that said Richard's case is a code red. She's a prime suspect, and she's, known for confessing, right? Confessing to being in possession of child pornography, confessing that her family, long history of incest, confessing that a 7-year-old was sexually assaulted in her master bedroom by multiple members of her household. And it's corroborated by, her notary, corroborated by the FBI number, corroborated by communications with her then husband, James Courtney Hart, that, she absolutely is known for confessing, and she's a prime suspect in the murder of Richard. And she says that Richard was a code red. And we absolutely know, we have witness testimony that she worked with and was, very, very cozy with Major General Clem Coward. because she was also in the military, which is very interesting. It's like, what? We need her military record, right? Because she has a long criminal history. Did she change her name? Because she has this long criminal history. She's a convicted criminal. A convicted criminal where the judge has said, look, she has mental problems and she needs to be treated for mental problems. And of course, and her family all say that she has the screws loose. Um, that something is not right. And then we talked to victims, and they all said the same thing, that she's crazy, that she has the screws loose, that she's, uh, crazy. Just, yeah. So this is, very revealing when we have the canine um, having a positive hit, and more information is coming in from that. And then, of course, this being a code red. And then, can we corroborate it? Well, we can corroborate the code red um, with timelines, because Richard, multiple times, he wanted to get out of that unit. He put in a request to get out of that unit. He called Houston FBI. He called CPS. He called 911. So he was reaching out multiple times with multiple levels of law enforcement. He wanted to, he was reaching out to the command saying, just send me anywhere. I've got to get out of this unit. This is telling you that he feels threatened. He's calling 911. He's feeling threatened. He's asking for a transfer. He's feeling threatened. So this is a premeditated murder code red, right? Premeditated murder, which, like I was thinking about Jake Jakovitz this morning. Well, I wasn't thinking about him. Rob was thinking about him and saying, and not that I forgot him, but absolutely, he is, we hope that he's in big trouble, because we were with him and he was not level with us. And he absolutely participated in the cover up of this murder of Richard. Why? They were telling us that Nadal Baim, who works for Western Frontier Trading, which is all, provides munitions to different entities, right? Bids, at least. Bids, they were telling us, and he's the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3. The father-in-law of the Lieutenant Colonel in the G3 is bidding to provide munitions. Yeah. And there's more to it. There's more to it. This is an international world, isn't it? And there's more to it. So, and of course, this is an international crime scene. But Jake Jakovitz was in those meetings telling us that Nadal Baim was just some guy. He was just some guy. They were so nervous. Oh my gosh. He was really shaking. he was shaking because he knew there was a positive hit for the canine. He knew, I mean, they were just, I can just see them in the background, and just let me act this out just a little bit, like, oh my gosh, we're going to get caught. You know, they know that their son was murdered and all. No, 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 we've got this covered. Just stay with it, right? They'll never find out about the canine positive hit. They'll never um, find out about Nadal Baim. They'll never find his name. They won't do that. And if they do, it doesn't matter. We'll keep covering this up. We will continue to um, engage in our criminal activity because that's what they're doing. They're engaging in this, just criminal activity. And they're going to we'll use our buddy from the Walmart mass shooting case. Because let me tell you, it seems like the lawyers, when you look at Patrick Crusius for 5 years sitting in isolation across the street from the courthouse, and he has not even had a mental health evaluation yet, right? What kind of lawyers is that? What kind of lawyers? Because let me tell you, there is enough journalists that would absolutely report on Patrick Crusius. And why aren't they bringing him out? Why aren't they, displaying that, his cognitive ability after the federal judge said that he has a severe mental health condition? Or why don't they, display that he has this mental health condition? With lawyers like this, who needs enemies? And to find out that this swings over into the tampering of Richard's case, of interfering in Richard's case, of orchestrating false narratives, false stories in Richard's case, and that you have a lawyer for the Walmart case involved, and this is not a surprise, like, oh no, that cannot be. No, because we have open records with Bob Moore, with Bill Hicks, with Justin Underwood, colluding together to get rid of Yvonne Rosales. And that you could have seen on Facebook, right? Because they were on public forum discussing it. So, to think that a Walmart lawyer would also contribute to the colluding with Bob Moore to orchestrating of the fabrication of a false narrative, a false story, to interfere with a witness whistleblower, to retaliate against a whistleblower, or a witness whistleblower, is not just absurd. It's not at all. It's absolutely makes you understand what is happening. It absolutely is the answer to all of this tampering and everything like that. So to have who did it and everything, it's kind of shocking a little bit, but you just have to follow the evidence. Follow the evidence, and all of a sudden, look who it takes you to. A lawyer from the Walmart case, Again, someone interfering with Richard's case. Again, someone from the Walmart case tampering with Richard's case. Again, someone from the Walmart case obstructing justice in Richard's case. Again, someone from the Walmart mass shooting case. Um, connecting the dots between the two cases because they are up to no good when it comes to Richard's murder case, right? So it's all coming out. And for Jake Jakovitz to lie to us continuously about so many different things, and of course, the easy one to show is, um, is this testimony that, Nadal Baim is just some guy watching us on Facebook. No, he's not just some guy. No, he makes bids to deliver ammunition and other things. Um, what is that Western Frontier Trading, right? And it's unforgettable. All I'm thinking about is these young girls that he said he brought in during COVID into the barracks to have parties in the illicitly controlled barracks. The barracks were just cesspools. They were not meeting the requirements, and they were bringing those girls in um, for this during the COVID lockdown. So he told us about it. And that's no concern. You know, hey, Major General um, Clem Coward, I thought you were going over to Sharp to deter sexual assault, you know? So it's all coming out and all the pieces are fitting together. And we don't have it all yet, but it's getting there. And so I want to thank everybody. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Um, and yeah, and I'm going to try to come on a little bit earlier during this week, uh, during the day, I think daytime, just to give everyone a heads up. Because when you see me, I'm burning the midnight oil all the time, right? And I think I need to do some live streams much earlier because the material is getting so detailed, and the material is the evidence. The evidence that Richard was code red, that he was murdered on Fort Bliss, that he was dismembered. Um, we know the prime suspects are Dallas Hart, Tavita Nusa, Leilani Hart. All of that is coming out. And yeah, I'll come on a little bit early to to give you the sensitive information that's coming out about Nadal Baim. And I'm very grateful for everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you. Don't forget to share and like. And let me read these comments real quick. Good evening, Mrs. Halliday. Praying for justice for Richard and your family. Thank you so much. This is horrible. Notice so many young men and women that join the military don't stay in long. A lot of abuse and dishonesty. 100%. It's a disgrace. It's a disgust. And it's a betrayal. It's a betrayal. And when you find out more, especially of this Western Frontier trading, um, and I just have to uh, tell you, I couldn't keep it any longer because it it really helps people understand the motive, and I'll be getting into that a little bit later. But the main focus right now is There is no excuse for Bob Moore. There's huge stories out there that he should cover. And of course, Richard Halliday being one of them. And then, you know, so Bob Moore, and of course, the lawyer from the Walmart case. That is very, very important for everyone to know who the lawyer is for the Walmart case. That is really up to no good. Up to no good. So we know a lot of things, y'all. Um, so thank you so much. God bless you. And I will see you tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.